Welcome to Oakview Farm here in North Yorkshire. This is the home of the Lord family. They've got a dozen horses in training for the 2019 season. It's not the dirty dozen, it's the delightful dozen. Let's take a look. And here he is. It's the one and only Mick Lord. Multiple champion driver, trainer. He's been there, done it, bought the t-shirt. How are you, Mick?
I'm very well.
Looking forward to the 2019 campaign?
Yes, we are. I
just introduced you as having a dozen horses in training. Not the dirty dozen, the delightful dozen. Nice manageable number, a dozen.
It is. It is for us. Yeah. Anything more than that, it makes it hard work.
And a nice mixed bag in terms of ages.
Yeah, I think so. With a couple of 2-year-olds, a few 3-year-olds, and some handicappers.
Yeah.
So just nice. Yeah.
Is it an all pacing squad? Any trotters in the
No,
stable?
no trotters, all pacing.
Yeah,
all pacing this year. Yeah. Well, we don't usually train any trotters, not because we don't like them. It's just that the lads that we train for don't have any.
And before we go on, how was the 2018 season for you overall?
Just okay, Darren. That's all. We had a 3-year-old reached star quality. Really wanted castrating, and we had a big hope for him, and it didn't really materialise. We had 2-year-old filly, Spring Hill Miss Katie. She won a heat of the Breeders' Crown, but I think last year the 2-year-old fillies were that strong. It was a tough year last year. Seemed to be stronger than what the Colts was.
Yeah.
And I think the 3-year-old fillies will be tough again this year. Newtown Geordie and Oakwood Starcam.
Yes. 2
great fillies like to go up against, you know, so I would think they'll be the 2 that...
It's wonderful to see the quality paces that we've got on show now. You know, races like the VDM have certainly helped, you know, step the quality up, if you like.
Yes, they have, without a doubt. People are now buying quality to go and race at the VDM and the other 2-year-old races, of course. But I think without the VDM and the other 2-year-old races, people wouldn't buy yearlings. The breeding would be dead.
Yeah. And so, what are your thoughts regarding the structure of the season, regarding the top class 2- and 3-year-old races? I mean, are we expecting too much of these young horses to be condensing the top class races into a short period of time?
Absolutely. When all said and done, the babies, and I think we're wanting to maybe put all the major 2-year-old races in about 10 weeks. I just think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I really do.
I mean, to use thoroughbred racing as an example, as a model, certainly when it comes to 2-year-old races, the Group 1 2-year-old races are always at the back end of the season, i.e. the last month or 2 of the campaign.
They are in everywhere. In the States, all the big 2-year-old races are in the back end of the season. The only thing I find, I think, with the promoters is that when the big 2-year-old races are at the back end of the season, everybody seems to know, because there's only a small number of 2-year-olds that actually get to the races.
Yes.
Everybody seems to know that horse A is the best 2-year-old and horse B is the second best, and the rest of them don't really have any chance. So the entries are small at the back end of the year. Whereas when they have them early on, they haven't got a pecking order.
So that's the positive about having them early on.
Yes. But as far as it doesn't really worry me about having 2-year-old races in June. What bothers me is that there's one every week, and it's fine if I suppose for us, because we're at York. If there was all at York, at Greenhampton there, we could manage. But when you've got a 2-year-old race at York, and then week after you've got to travel down to Tia Prince, the week after you've got to travel to Tregarron or somewhere, or up to Corby Wood, It's not just the actual racing, it's the stress that you're putting under by travelling.
Yes.
It'd be nice to have a 2-year-old race every fortnight.
Yes.
From maybe beginning of July. You could race your 2-year-old race,
Through until
recover.
September.
Yes, race your 2-year-old race, recover, race a 2-year-old race, recover.
Yes.
And as I said, they're only babies.
With the VDM being the cog in the wheel.
Well, absolutely, yeah. You know, I mean, that has now become the race that everybody wants to win.
And regarding York, you mentioned York. It must be music to your ears hearing that there's racing at York in 2019.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yes, it was last year we missed it. Not only the racing, we actually missed, because we train quite a lot of 2-year-old, but young horses, novice type things. We actually missed it for the experience they gained in qualifiers.
Yeah, and I've said this before. You know, Tia Prince and York, they should be complementing one another.
They should. I also think that we've got 2 good tracks. We've got York and we've got Tia Prince, and of course there's Corby Wood up in Scotland.
Yes.
But we've also got Ireland, and I can't understand why we can't have a major meeting at York, one at Tia Prince, over in Ireland or at Corby Wood, and alternate them so that we don't have the major meetings conflicting with each other.
So what we're saying is there should be an Anglo-Irish fixtures committee stroke pattern committee, if you like,
Yes.
for race scheduling.
Yes. So it's because what ends up happening, we all go to the VDM, and at one time, all the Irish used to come here for Tregaron and other big meetings, but they've got their own big meetings now. So what it's doing, it's leaving our premier meetings without the competition of the Irish.
Yes.
And if we could structure the dates so that they didn't conflict,
yeah,
the meetings would be better. The racing would be better.
Good luck with that one, trying to get people to agree and sit around the table.
Yeah, so you're right there, Darren. You really are. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at your string for 2019. Okay, Mick, let's have a look at the spring for 2019, beginning with
Showtime Notorious. We just broke him in at the back end. He's a 3-year-old. Give on. We broke him in as a 3-year-old. He's out of an art major mare by Merschelt Hanover. At the moment, he'll be going around 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, nice horse. Had a bit of an attitude at first, but he's a nice horse. Looks like eating your.
Yeah, he's interested. Oh, he's a star. He's a show off. A real show off. We like you.
Yeah.
So where will he start?
I'm not sure. He's not entered in any stakes races. Whether if he's good enough, he might get supplemented. But
yeah,
it's a big ask to ask something like him that's never raced or had any experience in qualifiers to suddenly come out and start hitting them top 3-year-olds. It's a big ask, but we live in hope.
We do. So this is Showtime Notorious.
Yeah. 2-year-old filly, Reed's Romance, Reed's Hasty Affair, Sea and Ski. They've kept it in the family. Young John Wright bought this at Bill Swell's. His first one is owned.
All right.
His grandmother was Shady Romance, and John used to go everywhere to watch Shady Romance. And then she had Reed's Hasty Affair, and he used to go everywhere to watch that. And he said the first time that he can afford one out of Hasty Affair, he was going to buy it. And he actually tried to buy the colt last year that Shane Fletcher bought. So he said this year he was going to buy one.
He was determined. It's a great story.
Yeah.
I mean, how many years ago now is it that Shady Romance was on the scene?
2006.
Is it?
Was it? Was it then?
You're making me feel old now.
Yeah, I was there. I think
I was on the karaoke that day. Yeah.
I think it was around that time. And she won Musselburgh and Tregarron. And the Derby.
Yeah.
And then Shady came. Shady, Ace the Affair. We used to call her Shady. Ace the Affair came. And I've never been as certain of going to Tregarron and winning Tregarron as I was with her.
Yeah.
She won the Hurricane Pace with your commentary.
With my commentary.
Your commentary. What a whirlwind performance to win the Hurricane Pace. And then she won the 4-year-old championship in a record time at Tier Prince.
Yes.
Then a fortnight after that was Tregarron. And it was when Tregarron was, I think it was just a Friday and Saturday meeting.
I think it was.
It was.
Yes.
And usually we go down and stop. But she wasn't the best of doers away from home. So I left her at home and I came back for her on Friday night to take her back on Saturday morning. We got to Warrington, a telephone call. Tregarron's been cancelled, it's been rained off. And I couldn't see her getting beat. I really couldn't. She'd just gone 3-3 for a 1.5 mile round Tier Prince with a puncture. I got a puncture around first turn. And she was on the gate in the big trot. I really couldn't. But anyhow, that's gone, isn't it? So, and this is out of her.
So remind me of the name again?
Reed's Romance.
Reed's Romance.
Yeah, and I really like that filly. She's the others that we had out of her. A bit bullheaded, you know, like hard to walk, and they walk a bit ignorant.
Yes.
She's a real nice, friendly filly. She is.
Right.
We'll see.
That's gone on the list. So here, Mick, we've got a 2-year-old. Tell us more.
Royal Ambro, out of Reed's Topaz, by Ambro Juice.
Nice pedigree.
Yes. Watch this space.
Oh, right. Where's this going then?
Everywhere.
Where's this going? Watch this space. I'm fascinated.
Yes. I think he's quite talented.
Right.
Mm.
So just tell me a little bit about his background then. You know, as in, you know, how did he end up at Oakview?
Well, the lad that owns him, Matthew, was a pal of, or is a pal of Sue Young's, and Sue Young had him turned at her place all last year, and Matthew had asked her where she would send it, and she said, send it here. So he rang us actually middle of last summer, would we break it in for him? And we did, and I quite liked him. And
you're quite affectionate about this horse now. You're really liking this horse. So why are you liking him now? I mean, here we are now. We're late March. What's he been doing over the last few months?
Well, he's just been working away. I mean, he isn't actually. He's not a friendly sort of a horse. He's not one you would sort of become best buddies with. I just think he's talented. I do. So
this is some statement coming from you.
I do think he's talented.
Right, so what's the plan? Have we got a master plan with him?
Well, he's entered in all the 2-year-old races. We'll see how we go.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at the moment he's doing everything what he should do. And he's doing it really
and more.
easy.
He's doing more, is he?
Yeah. Well, no, he's capable of doing more.
Capable, right.
But I suppose with the babies, what he's doing now, he's doing real good.
Yeah.
Month's time he could have hit a brick wall and that will be him finished for the season. But We're living in hope.
So we could, ladies and gents, be looking at one of the stars of 2019.
We could.
Royal Ambro.
Royal Ambro.
All right, fella. Okay, Mick, it's siesta time. Who's this?
Howard's 5-star. He's by Hasty Hall, out of Reeds Tonda. John Howard's, it is. Howard's 5-star. Sam sort of long-reined him when he was a yearling, but he was a late fall, and I think he was maybe a bit on the weak side. So we got him end of October, I think. It would be to finish off his breaking, and he's actually been in training ever since. Just jogging away quietly, you know. John has got him entered in some of the stakes races, so that's the reason we've really kept him in training, because he had a long way to catch up. So we will see. He will probably go to the first qualifying meeting.
So he's going to be, you know, compared to a great many horses out there, he's going to be fairly well forward in terms of fitness and experience. Or fitness, anyway.
Fitness, yeah. For the stage of the game, he will be. Yes, yeah.
It's quite a size.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's a big lump of horse now.
Yeah.
It's going okay. But,
sorry to wake you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a nice horse. But we'll see.
We'll see. And who's this, mate?
Showtime Doll. 3-year-old filly. I think she's a maiden. She raced a few times last year in 2-year-old races. She's going very nice, but he hasn't staked her in anything, so we'll see. If I would think if she's going good enough, Jack Hill's supplement her, you know. But yeah, she's going nice. She is. So we'll see.
So will she be out early?
Yeah, she will. I'll probably take her to the workout and qualifiers at Easter there, you know, let her have a run and see. But yeah, they're all fairly well on it. We've had a real good spring. I think we missed.
Well, it wasn't a rough winter, really, was it?
No, it wasn't. But we haven't missed many days, even when we had that bad fortnight.
Yes.
I don't think we had it as bad here as they've had it all over the country.
And it's great just looking at the fixture list that, you know, tracks like Tear Prince and I think York are staging qualifying days.
Yes, it is. It is. That's another thing you see now. When I was younger, and we used to race at Easter, I know you would go to the races and you could win races in 2:16 or 2:20. Now you go to the races and the first meetings there'll be races going 2-1 and 2-2.
Yeah.
So you really need them qualifiers into them. You know, people have advanced so much in training horses and the welfare and the way they look after them. It's advanced so much. Shame the rest of it hasn't, but there you go. That's another story.
Yeah, we won't go there. So who's this, Mick?
Showtime Rosa. Jackie Ray's. We had it back end of last year and she won 2 races and then we took her to Wolverhampton and she didn't just get the distance really.
Man, that's a tough surface, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and she came off sort of racing one weekend, racing the next weekend, and then we took her down to Wolverhampton and she didn't actually travel too good down there. I think she maybe just wasted herself in the trail, but she raced good until the last 100 yards and she tired. But, I quite like her.
And how she progressed during the winter?
Got bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
She's actually going very good.
So Showtime Rosa.
Showtime Rosa.
Now here's another star. Oh, and we know it. This is Reed Star quality.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Disappointment last year. No other word for it. He let us down badly.
What happened?
He needed castrating.
Was it simply that? Was it?
Yeah.
Was he just too much of a boy?
Yes. When he came out of his 2-year-old career, he was a fantastic 2-year-old. When he came out of his 2-year-old career, I really thought he should have been castrated then. Greta thought that it'd be better left, and they own it, so that's the way we went. I wished, it's easy to say, afterthought's a great thing. I wished I'd have been more positive about it and said we do need this castrating. I wish now, but I didn't. We talked about it, and so anyway, we was left an entire, and he trained down real good, and I thought we was on track until he started racing, and he wasn't that bothered about racing.
Mine wasn't on the job.
No, but
And how's he been training?
real good. Real good.
Have you seen a difference this year?
Yes.
In these first few months?
Yes, we have. He's training real good. We're hoping he's going to put it onto the racetrack. It's easy when he's out there thinking that yes, it's great now, but he's actually got to do it on the racetrack. I hope he forgets what he was doing last year, but he has to do it on the racetrack.
And when and where will he start?
Probably either Tier Prince or York at the first meeting.
Where does he sit with the grades?
Grade 1. If he comes back to his 2-year-old form, he's on a hell of a handicap. You know, he is. So he will be aimed at. Hopefully, if he's as comes back to being as good as what he was, he'll probably go to Appleby, Musselburn, Tregarrant. That's the big handicaps.
Yes, yeah. And you think, I mean, if he can just repeat what he was showing you, off the mark he's on now.
If he can do what we expect him to do, I'm not saying he's better than Meticulous, but as 2-year-olds, they was kind of on par. So if you put Meticulous on grade 1, you would have to take your own bookmaker. You know, that's the sort of thing you're looking at. Of course, Meticulous went on to improve as a 3-year-old and was a super 3-year-old, wasn't he? You know, he really was a top class horse, you know. And I don't for 1 minute think that maybe we're as good as that. But we're talking about handicap mark and similarities.
Yeah, and what this horse
is capable of.
You think is capable of.
Yeah.
So read star quality. We're expecting big things from you, fella.
Yeah.
So who have we got here, Mick?
This is Storm Alert. One of Jimmy Winters. It's out of Desert Storm by Hasty Hall.
Yeah.
We've only had him about 3 weeks. He's done very. It's a 3-year-old.
Has Jimmy? So did Jimmy do the pre-training for this
horse? No, he hasn't done anything with
him.
Right. We broke him in 18 months ago, and then Jimmy's just left him turned out, and then he fetched him in, I suppose, after Christmas, and he's in work now. Yeah.
So there's been no rush.
No, Jimmy's not one for racing him as 2-year-olds. No. As you know, he's still racing 12-year-olds and whatever.
Yeah. He's one of the die-hard traditionalists of the great game.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I suppose it's actually going okay. For what he's done, he's doing okay.
Yes.
And his mother were a good little mare. Desert Storm.
I remember Desert Storm.
Yeah. It's a hell of a strong breeding that. Desert Storm, Stone Rig Speed. You know,
And it must be a pleasure, you know, to train with people like Jimmy. I mean, he's one of the gentlemen of the game. I think one of the characters and gentlemen of the game.
his instructions to me, right? Whenever we go racing, and I've got one of Wint's horses, whether I'm driving for him or whether we're driving, his instructions, and the same instructions every race. Lead, lead.
So keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Doesn't matter whether you're drawn 10. Lead.
Fire them out the gate.
And the only reason he says that is because when you're sat behind and you're sort of waiting your time to pounce, Jimmy can't stand the excitement. When you're in front, he knows it's fairly safe. He doesn't like that.
Okay. So you've got to lead.
Got to lead. Learn him to step out of the car.
Yeah. So what's the introduction here, Mick?
Reed's Okie Dokie.
Okay.
Yeah. Race last year. She won. What did she win last year? Breeders' Crown, not Breeders' Crown, Size Stakes. 4-year-old Size Stakes she won. Yeah. She hasn't really fulfilled what I hoped she would do. She had to race mainly on grass last year. And she's a better hard track horse. Yeah, she is. She is. It's no good kidding ourselves. She's better off on the hard tracks. Get on the grass, she sometimes gets a little bit lost.
So hopefully a few more opportunities this year.
Well, yeah,
York coming back.
York coming back. There's 6-7 meetings at York and Tier Prince. Of course, I suppose Robert and Barry will want to go to one or two of the major grass trots.
Yeah.
But she isn't at her best on the grass. Yeah.
Now, have I seen a falter around the likes of Appleby in the past?
Yes, you have. You have. She's very delicate on a grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
It's a real hard track horse, a real purist horse.
Yeah, she is. Yes, I would say.
She's not interested in us, is she?
No, she isn't a friendly soul. No, she isn't. Does her work. She come and say hello, like, but she does her work.
On her terms,
yeah. Yeah. But there you go.
That's Reed's Hokey Cokey, folks.
Yeah.
We've got some group class performers here, Mick. Yeah.
Good lambing.
How's the lambing been?
Been good.
Yeah.
We had a good lambing time. Yeah. Just kept these in. These are.
And the weather's been
been
friendly, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, these are Easter trade things.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So.
Hey,
Mick.
Right, so who have we got here, Mick?
Greenhill Hanover.
Right.
Yes.
So what are we hoping for?
Well, we'd like to win something big with her. And I quite like this filly. You know, she's she does stick her neck out. When we work her, she doesn't like anything to pass.
No.
You know, she's a little terrier.
Yeah, she's really game.
She is, yes, she is. And I suppose she suffered the same as last year with God, what was it called? Robin Camden and is it Reclamation?
Look what they're doing now. Look what they're up to now in North America.
Yes, you know, she was only a couple of lengths behind them. So, you know,
there's no disgrace in that.
No,
Mick.
there is not.
You know,
there isn't.
You could see her rolling around Yonkers and the like, couldn't you?
Yeah, yes. I'd sooner see her roll around York.
For Yonkers money.
yeah, she's a nice filly, you know. Grade 4 she is. So, and it wouldn't surprise me if she ended up a grade 8 or something.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't. So we'll see.
One of the stars. one of the real stars.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. An old favourite.
Go on.
Green Hill Debatable.
Green Hill Debatable. Wow. Called you a few times.
Yeah. Yes. Not very big, is she?
No. You do.
But, yeah. So,
And how's she been?
very well.
Over the winter, she's wintered. She's wintered well.
Yeah, she's wintered fine. She's training nice.
How old's she now?
5-year-old.
5 now.
5-year-old, yeah. Yeah. So, just needs to stick her head in front. She's been second a lot of times.
But she goes to the big table. She goes to the big
she
gigs.
does. She does.
She takes you to the big gigs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she doesn't miss a dance, does she?
No.
Like from 2-year-old to last year, she does. Gee, I thought she'd won Musselburgh last year. Dear. But there you go. I did. And Gilby has had something to answer to, haven't they?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
But was it Port Marnock that...
She won at Port Marnock.
She won at Port Marnock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we was lucky there with her.
Yeah.
She got drawn in the second line. And the first time up, the first race she'd have been beat. And there was an accident, so they had a recall. And then one was pulled out, and then another was pulled out, and then another. I ended up on the car. And then she led and we won, so that was... Sometimes you're being lucky, aren't you?
And where does she sit now in terms of the grading tree?
She's a grade 2. Yeah, she's a grade 2. So she's still...
Winnable mark?
She's still in there with a chance, yes. Yeah, she is. So...
And, you were saying that she's now 5.
Yes.
Can you still expect improvement from her? She's 5 years old. She has rocked up, on the big stage several times in her short career so far. Is it realistic to expect improvement?
I think the only thing she's going to do is get a little bit stronger. Because she's only a small filly, and yet she's always been a small filly. I wouldn't suddenly expect her to go a mile in 56 or anything, but I think she's always been around that 2 minutes, and it wouldn't surprise me if she went just inside 59, But she won't find any more speed. She'll maybe just be able to carry her speed a little bit farther. That's all.
And how far do you think she could get up the tree? What sort of realistic grade? If I come back in October, where will she be in terms of the grading tree? Do you think?
Don't know. That depends on her.
You'd be disappointed if she didn't go up a couple of notches.
Oh yes, I would. I'd expect her to win something.
Yeah.
I would, but sometimes. When you finish second so often, as she has, I mean, every time she's gone, she's ended up in the first 3, and she's won a few, which is great. I mean, she won the Oaks, didn't she?
Yeah.
And she has won a few. But sometimes when they finish second as many times as she has, you wonder whether they're just sticking the neck out when they really should.
But sometimes it's not down to their genuineness. It's just
I think she is genuine.
Unfortunate.
Maybe. I mean, she. I suppose her biggest nemesis, Reed's Mystique.
Yeah.
Ended up in the same year as her, like.
So she's just unfortunate.
So maybe
one or two just too good on the day when she was around.
Maybe. That's my only thing. You sometimes wonder whether she's a super filly and she will keep on earning money and keep racing well.
But so she's there for fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Mick Lord from Oakview Stables here. We've had a look at the delightful dozen. One name, one horse that you think this is the horse that. And we're not going. I don't want to upset any of your owners out there, but this is the one horse I really think an awful lot of, and could go to the top. This is the one that excites me this year. Let's have it.
Reed Star quality.
Reed Star quality.
Keep the faith.
Okay, keep the faith. So he's had his giblets removed.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're hoping now that's going to make all the difference.
We are. At home it has done. I mean, he has turned himself round at home. Just hope it's going to happen on the racetrack now. Ability-wise, is as good as we've had that been round here.
Okay, so Reed Star quality. Now, the hopes for harness racing in the UK 2019 and beyond. Handicapping, of course, is a major talking point in the UK. You know, various systems have been tried. We've had the hands-on approach. We've had handicappers in the past. In Australia, later on this year, they're introducing a new system there, a points-based system attached to the value of races, similar to New Zealand. There's another system that's quite obviously successful in Canada. Do you think we can take a leaf out of the books of these countries and have a look to see if their handicap systems could be workable here in the UK?
I'm sure we can. My own opinion, we need a handicap system. Whatever system it is, we need a handicap system. The reason we need a handicap system is so that we can have conditions within that handicap system. When we have conditioned races, trainers and owners can actually enter their horses where they want them to go. And I'm all for conditioned races, but we need a system. And we don't need a system introducing in January or February. We actually need to be talking about it now so that everybody is aware of the fact for next year. It does no harm to talk about whatever systems they use in Europe or in the States or in Australasia. No harm at all, because you can actually cherry pick which bits we like the best. But I think we do need to talk about it. Whether we have meetings when the major meetings are on, I don't know, but people do need to get involved. It's no good coming up with a system and then decrying it, saying this can't work and that can't work. We actually need to talk about a system where we're all in agreement with it. And I suppose the only way we can do that is to hold meetings.
Well, there needs to be dialogue. The current system, in your opinion, what would be the major flaw or flaws in the current system? You may be happy with the current system.
No. My biggest problem with the current system is preferred racing. When we have grade 1s and grade 4s or grade 5s in the same race, when we've got a grade 1 drawn 1 and a grade 4 drawn in the second line behind it. Now, to me, that's not handicapping.
No.
That is totally wrong. In the handicap system, a grade 4 is a 40-yarder and a grade 1 goes off the car. Doesn't sit behind the grade 1. That's a big problem I have with it. I don't mind preferred races where we have grade 1s and 2s. That's fine, but it's when they extend the preferred races to the as I say, to grade 1 to 4 or 5 to 9. That's not handicapping.
Are you saying that there's more race framers can do?
Yes, there is. I'm sure there is. I probably wouldn't mind the same if they called them preferred races conditioned races, where a grade 1 and a grade 4 actually was in the same condition. But I suppose why I would agree with that is that either I or another owner or a trainer would enter his grade 1 to race against that grade 4. He wouldn't have a race framer putting his grade 1 in with a grade 4 to make the races up, and I think that's wrong.
And one thing that I absolutely detested last year, Mick, it happened once, maybe twice or so, I saw it on the circuit last year, was handicap finals and horses trailing 100 yards and more. I mean, that's got to stop. That is the sport 50, 60 years ago. That has to stop.
It has, yeah. I don't know how we're going to work around that, because I think the mentality of the trotting public, the participants, are heat and finals, and that's a thing of the past. It really is.
Do you really think that?
I think so.
It's the fabric of our sport.
It has, but I just.
Do you think we should keep them to the very big occasions? Make them
yes.
Give them that degree of uniqueness, i.e., maybe just Musselburgh, Appleby, Tregarron. Give them that degree of uniqueness.
It is great to win one of them. It really is. But as you say, I mean, the horses are that close now, in ability wise, that horses trailing 100 yards have no chance. But yet they should be worth the most. Yeah. They're the ones that people really like to go and see. You don't see at Cheltenham there where Altior is giving a maiden a bit of start. They're all the same class, and that's why they want to watch them.
Yes.
I just feel really that the best horses should be worth the most. Yeah. Because they are the better horses.
And that was one thing about last year. It was just notable that there were very few free-for-alls for the aged horses last year. Obviously, we haven't got, I suppose, the population.
No, I suppose we haven't. But if there isn't a free-for-all, then your top-class horses have nowhere to race.
No.
They can't give the start to the other horses. And it makes them worth nothing. Last year they had, was it last year or I think it was last year, 2 horses that Sally Teeburn trained had, Air Regal and Her Majesty. Great horses. Couldn't. If one of them rolled up as a 2-year-old, you'd think it was in clover. When they got to the open handicap, they wasn't good enough to win the free-for-alls. They're still real good horses, but they wasn't good enough to win the free-for-alls. Makes them worth nothing.
Yeah.
If you train in a horse that can't win, it's worth nothing. And it shouldn't be, because they were 2 great horses. I think Air Regal would be one of the richest 3-year-olds there was.
Yeah.
And really good horses like. And them are the type of horses that the betting public, they have a line on.
Yes.
That we know how good they are.
Yeah.
And they can make a form book and
they
bet
have an
accordingly.
With those sort of horses,
yes, of course
the
they
racing
do.
Fans.
Yeah, and there's nothing worse seeing them horses race down the pipeline. So.
Well, thank you very much for your forthright views.
Yeah, well, I'll get off my soapbox now.
And we wish you all the very best for 2019.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mick Lord.
Thank you.